Hey everyone, Michael Elliott here with Between Two Mammoths. I am thrilled today to be here in the Eighmy Powerhouse with Isabelle Anderson, class of 2025. Isabelle, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So you are a CA, a community advisor, and you've been doing it for 2 years now in Williston, a first-year residence hall on the Quad. How'd you get interested in doing that, and what's it been like?
I remember I was really nervous coming to Amherst, especially because it's such a small school, but so many of us come from different places, so I knew that I wasn't really going to know anyone from my hometown. But living in South was a really formative experience for me because the CAs in that building did a really great job at fostering community. And I remember just feeling so grateful because it felt like that dorm was basically the focal point of my entire freshman year. Like every time I would go back in there after a day of studying or class or after dinner, there was always someone I knew and could talk to. I really wanted to help build that experience for the next class of freshmen, and it's been pretty much as meaningful as it was for me to live on the first year quad as a freshman.
One place that I've also had a chance to see you shine at Amherst is in your involvement in the amateur theater scene, the
Yes.
green room and in different film projects. It's not your formal major, right? What would you say to somebody who wants to, continue to participate in the arts, but maybe isn't planning to study it here?
I mean, I think Amherst makes it very accessible for students. Green room is kind of a tour de force in that students are on the e-board, so students run the administrative and financial endeavors. Students direct the show, students stage manage, and of course students act. I was in Caden Stockwell's film, Phases of a Daydream, and then last semester I was in Luke Herzog's play, We Open on a Red Desert, and being in student written productions was also so fulfilling because you just realize how incredibly talented everyone here is.
I know you're involved in research, you're thinking about writing a thesis next year?
I'm writing my thesis through the history department. It's going to be about the intersection of Puerto Rican nationalist movements and feminist movements in the mid-20th century. I did a research project last semester for a history seminar about Puerto Rican nationalism. And I realized that one of the main tactics of the nationalist movement in the mid-20th century, when it was very radical, very revolutionary, was to talk about how women's bodies were used and exploited by the American government. And so I am hoping to write this thesis to kind of give power back to the women themselves who are experiencing this and the feminists on the island who were often shut out of the nationalist movement. So I'm going to be going to Puerto Rico to do archival research, oral interviews, to kind of write that nationalist, radical feminist history from the perspective of the women themselves who were affected.
That's fabulous. Well, I can't wait to hear how the research turns out. That's going to be a great experience. Both
Yes.
doing archival work and oral history work.
Yes.
I imagine some of the people watching this will actually be members of the class of 2028 who are preparing to come to Amherst in the fall. What's your best piece of advice for them as they get ready for their first fall on the Amherst campus?
When you come to Amherst, the academic rigor, it can burn you out really easily if you don't have that balance. So my kind of test that I use for all freshmen is that you should allow yourself 1 to 2 fun extracurriculars, like a sport or theater or choir or something of that nature, a cappella, 1 to 2 of those, and then 1 professional or academic pursuit. So 1 more academic career-oriented activity and 1 to 2 purely fun. Because I think I've had a lot of freshmen both years who have come and joined 8 clubs because they think, this is how I'm going to make all my friends. I need to make all my friends in these extracurriculars. But what I've learned from being involved pretty much exclusively in Green Room is that you can make more meaningful, long-lasting friendships if you're very specific about what you do with your time.
That's great advice. Well, thank you. I'm excited to watch your senior year unfold, and I appreciate you being with us here on Between Two Mammoths.
Thank you so much.